50 over to the other side, and it will become negative. If I remember, I did this problem earlier, and it's pretty long. Here we go. I'm going to square both sides. So I have 3x plus 1 equals 7 minus this quantity and 7 minus this quantity. Okay, on the right-hand side, 7 times 7 as I FOIL is 49. And then when I take the back times the back, I get a positive x plus 4. And this is negative 7 times the square root of x plus 2 and negative 7. Two groups of negative 7 is negative 14. Okay, I want to get this by itself. So I'm going to move the 49 to the opposite side by subtracting. I'm going to move the x to the opposite side by subtracting, the 4 to the opposite side by subtracting. Now I have negative 14 times quantity x plus 4. On the right-hand side, I have 3x minus 1x is 2x. And now I'm going to combine all of this to end up with, I believe, negative 52. What do we have here? So I have negative 49 minus 4 plus 1 should be negative 52. Now, when I look at this, I don't want to go ahead and divide by 14 because that's going to give me some kind of ugly fraction. So instead, I'm going to square both the left and the right. 2x minus 52, 2x minus 52 equals negative 14 times this quantity and negative 14 times this quantity. All right, here we go. 2 times 2 is 4x squared. This is negative 104. So I have negative 104 and negative 104, which is going to be a negative 208x. And 52 times 52 gives us a really large number, 2704. On the right-hand side, 14 times 14, although they're both negatives, when you multiply, you get a positive 196 times the quantity x plus 4. I'm going to distribute 196 to get 196x plus 784. And now I'm going to move everything to the same side. And I'm definitely going to see, can I factor something out to make my life easier here? Okay, so I'm moving this to the same side, moving this to the same side. I have nothing left on the right-hand side. I'll move this up so everybody can see. I have 4x squared. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 208 and I'm going to combine it with negative 196 to get negative 404x. 2704 subtract 784 is going to be a positive 1920. Way too large. I want to see if each of these is divisible by 4. So 404 is obviously divisible by 4, and 1920 is also divisible by 4. So I'm going to use this information here. You can see this off to the side here. So I factor out a 4 to get 1x squared minus 101x plus 480. When I divide both sides by 4, it doesn't change anything. So 1x squared minus 101x plus 480 equals 0. All right, what is next? Let's see, what can I do here? So it multiplies to get positive 48, combines to give you negative 101. All right, so I'm going to take 480 divided by 2. Those two do not combine. 40 divided by 3. It's not working. 40 divided by 4. I'm getting closer. 40 divided by 5. Ooh, those two do combine to give you a 101. So negative 5 and negative 96. Minus 5 and minus 96 equals 0. One answer is 5, one answer is 96. Now we got to check to see, do they work? Do they work? So I'm going to go back up above, checking 5 and 96. Here we go. We got the square root of 3 times 5 plus 1 plus the square root of 5 plus 4. This has to equal 7. It does. That means 5 works. Then I have the square root of 3 times. The next one I'm checking is 96. 3 times 96 plus 1. And then I'm going to have plus the square root of 96 plus 4. Again, we want it to equal 7. It does not. Let's make sure I did plug this in correctly. So I have 96. That works. 3 times 96. So my only answer here is 5. My only answer that works here is 5. 96 is not. It is. Here we go. In this problem, I'm going to move this to the opposite side. So I have the square root of 2x minus 5 equals 2 plus, when it moves over, x minus 2. And now I'm going to square both sides. So 2x minus 5, and this cancels out, and I'm going to write this quantity twice. It looks like smaller numbers. Hopefully this will be easier than problem number 15. Okay, let's FOIL on the right. 2 times 2 is 4. When I multiply the backs, I'm left with x minus 2. Now I have a positive 2 and a positive 2. So I have positive 4 groups of x minus 2 equals 2x minus 5. I want to get this quantity by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4, subtract x, and add 2. So I did inverse operations. I'm left with 4 times the quantity x minus 2 equals, okay, slow it down here. 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 5 and negative 4 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 2 is going to be negative 7. Dividing by 4 would give me an ugly fraction. I don't want to work with fractions. Let's square both sides. X minus 7, I'm going to write it down twice. Over here, I have 4 times quantity x minus 2 and 4 times quantity x minus 2. X squared minus, when I have negative 7 and negative 7, is negative 14 plus 49. 4 times 4 is 16 times x minus 2. I'm going to distribute to get 16x minus 32. And then I'm going to subtract 16 and add 32. All right, on this side I have x squared minus 30x. And I'm going to grab 49 and add 49 to 32. When I add 49 to 32, I end up with 81. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes here. Let's see what we're capable of doing here. What multiplies to 81 and combines to give us negative 30? Let's check and see here. I'm not exactly sure what we could do. Maybe negative 3 and negative 27. Let's check. 3 times 27 is in fact 81, and it combines to give us the negative 30. So I have x minus 3, and I have x minus 27. So one answer is 3, one answer is 27. Now it's my job to go up and check by plugging them in to see if these both work. So for the purpose of time, I've already checked. I'll tell you 3 when you plug it in does not work. 27 is the only one when you set it into the original column that does work.